Hi everyone, my name is Katie Cords. Welcome to my channel, Cords Records. Today, you will already know, I am ranking the top 10 Joni Mitchell albums. I am a huge Joni Mitchell fan, completist. I have more or less every album of hers. She's only done 19 studio albums. She's done a few live recordings as well, but the records I'm ranking today, the top 10 studio albums. Hi there. I'm just cutting in here in the beginning of the video. I just wanted to ask for a favor, please. If you could subscribe or give me a thumbs up if you like this video at the end of it, that's fine. I'm trying to start this channel and I need some help. So if you could subscribe and like this video, that would be really appreciated. Okay, back to me, back in the past, in the future. My opinion, I think we can all agree on the sort of the top Joni Mitchell albums, 1, 2 and 3 kind of in various order. However, you may be surprised at my top 10. I'll be interested. Please comment if and tell me what you think. But just to say, this is my opinion. I mean, every album of Joni Mitchell's is beautiful. So I'm going to start at number 10. I will, at the end of this video, tell you what my favorite Joni Mitchell song is, and you might be surprised. And I might throw in a couple of bonus albums as well. So starting with number 10, For the Roses. This beautiful album, beautiful cover photograph by Joel Bernstein. This album was largely inspired by her breakup with James Taylor, who she'd been in a relationship with, and he went on to marry Carly Simon after that. The cover, just to start with the cover, it was originally supposed to be the inside shot, which is a beautiful photograph of her naked on the beach, but the executives wouldn't let it happen, be the cover, so it went into the gatefold instead. The musicians on this include Stephen Stills, Graham Nash, which are you'll find are on a lot of her early albums. The songs are beautiful. It was a surprising album. She was told to write a hit for radio, and she almost satirically wrote "You Turn Me On Like a Radio," and it actually became her biggest hit to date. There's some beautiful songs on here. Cold Blue Steel and Sweet Fire, apparently about James Taylor's heroin addiction. It's absolutely stunning. So that's number 10, For the Roses. Number 9, classic Joni Mitchell. Beautiful, Songs to a Seagull. Songs to a Seagull, sorry. That cover, Joni Mitchell artwork, as a lot of hers are. Beautiful. And you can see here the Seagulls actually write Songs to a Seagull, and when this album cover was first printed, this is actually the reprise, the reissue, and they got it right. But when the original cover, they cut it off down here, and so it became known as Joni Mitchell album, and this is her debut album, produced by David Crosby. And the story goes that when he recorded it, he wanted to capture her voice in such a way that she sang into a grand piano on the strings, and there was so much noise about when they put other mics that they had to do a lot of work in the post-processing, and it became this really flat album, unfortunately, which is part of its charm actually. But an unbelievable debut. It's just, when you really sit down and listen to this album and think that it was her actual first album. She'd actually had a few hits prior to this with other people recording her music. Circle Game, for example, Judy Collins. And this one starts with I Had a King, Michael from the Mountains. My favorite song on this is Cactus Tree, the final song. Beautiful artwork. Double gatefold. That artwork Just beautiful. Okay, number 8. This may come as a surprise to some of you, but honestly, this one could have been higher. I love this album. Don Juan's Reckless Daughter. This was the follow-up to Hejira, so it features Jaco Pastorius and half of Weather Report, really, Wayne Shorter and a couple of others, as did Hejira. It was a little bit more experimental than Hejira. The cover depicts 3 photos of Joni. This photo of her in quotation marks, blackface, highly controversial now. And in fact, the reissue that is coming out on June 21st as part of the new box set from the Joni Mitchell Archives series that she's putting out, they've changed the cover from now until so from now on, actually I think it's from April to 2024. From April 2024, for all future releases, it will have a new cover, which is a picture of a dog. They're removing this controversial cover, but it's actually really fun. Just a little bit unfortunate that she got that wrong. Again, another gatefold. This photo montage was a different artist, but all three of those people are Joni Mitchell. The music is not unlike Hejira, as I said, with Jaco and his fretless bass. A little bit more experimental, but it's an album to sit with. It's lyrical, it's moving in parts, beautiful photography. This photographer actually was Norman Seeff, who had a long relationship with Joni Mitchell. In fact, photographed Joni for her Hejira cover, which you'll see in a minute, which is quite famous. Chaka Khan features on this album, and they're still friends to this day, turning up at Joni Mitchell salons. And then on side 2, Paprika Place, it takes up the whole of side 2 on this double album. 16-minute masterpiece, orchestral, moving, a narrative storytelling about being in an Indigenous bar in Canada. She was such a great narrative storyteller, narrative songwriter. So Don Juan's Reckless Daughter comes in at number 8. Number 7. Oh, Shine. This was her final studio album, number 19. Released in 2007, and she was supposedly not going to be recording any music. She'd retired. She'd said she'd given up the music, given up writing anymore, or recording albums anymore. And 3 or 4 years later, there were rumors this album was coming out. She had done she had worked on a ballet, and a couple of the songs that she worked on with that ballet were the formation of this album. And this photograph on the cover is actually from the film of that ballet. Shine. Beautiful, beautiful music. Shine is a real song of the times, lament almost, prophecy almost. And then the final track, If, is a reinterpretation of Rudyard Kipling's If. Both songs are moving beyond words. She also put her 2007 version of Big Yellow Taxi on there. That's Shine coming in at number 7. So number 6, can you guess? Look at that beautiful, beautiful cover, Laurel Canyon. Beautiful, beautiful cover. This is The Ladies of the Canyon, 1970. Beautiful artwork by Joni again. Gatefold, handwritten lyrics. I don't know if you can see that. This album features Morgantown, For Free, Ladies of the Canyon, of course, Big Yellow Taxi, Woodstock, The Circle Game, Rounded Out. Those 3 songs are probably 3 of her most reproduced songs to this date. Beautiful album, coming in at number 6. I should say this one had Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young all over it. They were on a lot of the music. And Ladies of the Canyon were actually 3 women who lived in Laurel Canyon, and one of them recently died. Very sad. Number 5, The Hissing of Summer Lawns, with this stunning, stunning cover. This, if you have the right cover, if you have the right issue of this, it's kind of foil, and then this little blue, if you can see, I don't know if you can make that out, this little blue house here is her house. There's a kind of an African theme on this album, and these are men with this big snake, and it was just a commentary on male domination development, which is a kind of recurring narrative in a lot of her work. This album is intriguing. It has what is supposedly the very first commercially released song to include a sample. And she sampled African drums for, which song was it? I can't remember which song it was. Oh, The Jungle Line. And it's just drums, almost just drums in her voice. It's the first time ever, way ahead of Paul Simon, kind of using that kind of African sound, way ahead of Peter Gabriel. It was the first known sample, and it's just intriguing. It's a really interesting sound. The whole album is just beautifully produced. Prince, who was a lifelong fan of Joni Mitchell, said this was the last album he enjoyed from beginning to end. This beautiful, beautiful photograph inside. Again by Norman Seeff, that photograph. That one was mastered by Bernie Grundman. A lot of her early works were. So number 4, Court and Spark. This is probably a little bit lower in the list than some other people would. I love it. Like it's in my top 5, obviously, but it's certainly not my number 1 or 2. I want to like it more than I do. I wish it could have been like my number 2, but it's arrived at number 4. Again, artwork by Joni. This copy is my Australian original. So this has, you know, the classics like Help Me, Free Man in Paris, Down to You, Just Like This Train, Raised on Robbery, with a great feature of Robbie Robertson, the late Robbie Robertson. Some fantastic. It's Raised on Robbery is such a little jig. It's completely different from other stuff that she was doing. A Grammy winner, that one. David Cosby and Graham Nash featured on vocals. My light's in the way. Right, we're down to the top 3. So my number 3 Joni Mitchell of my top 10 Joni Mitchell is Clouds. Look at that beautiful self-portrait painting. Gorgeous. Oh, I love this album so, so much. This won a Grammy for Best Folk Album, and she's recently won another Grammy for Best Folk Album for her live album at Newport that she won it last year. Gatefold, listen to that crack. This is one of the reissues. Beautiful. Like this, the whole, it's a wraparound artwork. I don't know if you can see that. And of course, Clouds comes from the track Both Sides Now, the classic song Both Sides Now, which features on this album. Obviously one of the most famous Joni Mitchell tunes, one of my favourite Joni Mitchell tunes. I think that red flower is one of the national flowers of where she comes from. What else is on here? Oh, Chelsea Morning, Roses Blue, The Fiddle and the Drum. Beautiful, beautiful album. 1969, it was her second album after Songs to a Seagull. My number 2 album, which will probably reveal my number 1 album, you won't be surprised. My very watermarked Hejira album. Look at that beautiful portrait by Norman Seeff of her. They had a long relationship, professional relationship. He's photographed so many of her portraits for album covers and inside the covers. It's honestly one of the most beautiful photographs. Hejira is where she was really starting to become influenced in jazz, or putting jazz influence into her music. And this album is very well known for Jaco Pastorius's featured bass, his beautiful fretless 6-string bass on this album, as well as I think Wayne Shorter's on sax on it. It was mastered by Bernie Grundman, and he's remastered for the reissues coming out on June 21st. Hejira is included in that. I can't wait to hear it. Larry Carlton, who was a bass player, featured a lot in session bass player, featured a lot in Steely Dan. In fact, he was on Steely Dan's Asia features on this album. Neil Young plays harmonica on one of the tracks. If you like Weather Report, or if you like Jaco Pastorius, and you like some of Joni's more jazzy kind of interpretations, this is such a beautiful album. It could have been my number 1. I'm thinking about it now. It could have been my number 1. But of course, my number 1 is Blue. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that cover. This was recorded just after Graham Nash's relationship breakup. And then she was in a relationship with James Taylor at the time, who features heavily on guitar in it. From that opening dulcimer sound of All I Want into My Old Man, Little Green, about the daughter she gave up for adoption, Carrie, about the man she met in Greece, Blue, California, This Flight Tonight, River, A Case of You, The Last Time I Saw Richard. I mean, it's almost a greatest hits, isn't it? It's so beautiful. Beautiful. So they're my top 10 Joni Mitchell albums ranked. Now, I did promise you a couple of bonus albums. One of them is, I haven't actually got a copy of it at the moment. It's a fantastic re-recording. She did 2 re-records of her albums later in her career. One was Both Sides Now, and one was Travelogue, and they're both orchestral interpretations of her existing catalogue. And Travelogue is my favourite of those 2. They're like a matching pair. It was the second one, and it almost made my top 10 but didn't quite. And the other one is, the other bonus album is Turbulent Indigo. Oh, I love that album so much. Seagull features on it in a backing vocal. The beautiful song Magdalene Laundry's in it. Oh, and the song, the artwork on it is that Van Gogh Turbulent Indigo, and it's a self-portrait of Joni once again, kind of as a nod to Van Gogh, or Van Gogh, however you say it. And then I promised you that at the end of this video I'd tell you what my favourite Joni Mitchell song is, and it's Shine, from the album Shine. I could listen to that. It's on my Desert Island playlist, which maybe one day I'll do a video of what's on that. Shine is the most beautiful poem lyrically. The music is gorgeous. If you haven't listened to it for a while, pull it out and just sit with it and listen to it. Listen to the whole album. It's such a masterpiece, but that song, Turn It Up Loud, oh, love it. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what your favourites, Joni Mitchell albums. Have I got it right? Do you disagree? I mean, the other remaining 7 are brilliant. And there's a rumour that she's writing again. I heard from someone in her camp that she has been writing. So maybe there'll be new music coming out one day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed putting it together. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, or even better, subscribe. It really will help me. I'm trying to grow. I'm so new at this, and I'd really appreciate your support. I don't like to ask, but thank you. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.